Let's talk about the Chicago Bears and a possible move that could shake things up in the NFL. With the regular season just around the corner, this is the time when rosters across the league start to take shape and general managers look for those final pieces that could push their teams over the edge. For the Bears, all eyes are on Ryan Poles. Could he make a splash before week 1? The timing is certainly interesting, and the rumors are starting to pick up speed. As roster cut-down day approaches, August 26th at 4 o'clock Eastern, to be exact, teams will be trimming their squads down to the required 53 players. That's a big drop from the current 90-plus man rosters, and naturally, it opens the door for movement. Trades start to make more sense in this window. Some teams are overloaded in one position, others are desperate in another. And the Bears, in particular, have a few spots on this roster that could use some help. One name that's been generating buzz lately? Trey Hendrickson. Now, let's break this down because this one is big. The Bengals have finally opened the door to trade conversations around Trey Hendrickson, which is a major shift from their earlier stance. For months, they made it clear he wasn't going anywhere. But now, with contract negotiations reportedly falling apart and the player wanting more security in his deal, Cincinnati appears ready to listen. That means it's open season for teams looking for edge rush help, and the Bears are definitely in that conversation. The situation with Hendrickson is layered. The Bengals reportedly don't want to guarantee the second year of the extension, which is a deal-breaker for the player. From a financial standpoint, it's understandable. Hendrickson wants long-term security. He's proven himself, he's been consistent, and he's still playing at a high level. But the Bengals seem reluctant, and that's created a rift. As this tension builds, other teams are circling, and the Bears could be one of them. But here's the twist. The reported asking price from Cincinnati is absolutely wild. League sources say the Bengals are looking for a young defensive player and a first-round pick in 2026. That's a huge price tag, especially for a 30-year-old pass rusher. This isn't a case of shipping out a rookie with team control. Hendrickson is a proven veteran, yes, but you're also going to have to pay him big time on the back end. The trade cost plus the contract demands? That's a double punch. You start to wonder if Cincinnati is just throwing out a ridiculous offer to see who bites. I mean, think about it. Asking for a first-rounder and a legit defensive player? That's the kind of offer that makes teams hang up the phone. It'd be like the Bengals telling Chicago, "Give us your first-round pick and Austin Booker." That's a non-starter. That's not a negotiation. That's fantasy football stuff. Now, obviously, Trey Hendrickson would be an upgrade for the Bears. That's not even a debate. He's better than anyone they currently have rushing off the edge. And injuries are already creeping in. Austin Booker is dealing with a knee issue. Dominique Robinson rolled an ankle and had to leave the game against Buffalo. Now, those injuries don't sound super serious based on early reports, but nothing's confirmed yet. And even if both guys are back soon, there are still questions at edge rusher. Is Dominique Robinson really going to take that next leap in year 4? That remains to be seen. He's flashed at times, but the consistency isn't there. As for Booker, yes, he's looked promising, and there's a lot to like about his game, but he's young and still raw. Then you've got guys like Tanoke Basanian, who are solid rotational pieces, but not game changers. If the Bears want to contend, they need more than potential. They need production. Hendrickson gives you that. He's proven, he's explosive, and he knows how to get to the quarterback. But let's go back to the price. Trading a first-round pick and a player for Hendrickson is just not smart business right now. The Bears are in a good spot, but they're not in a place where they can throw away premium assets for short-term gain. They're still building. They're still trying to lay a long-term foundation. A move like that would signal desperation, not strategy. Now, could there be a middle ground? Sure. Maybe a third-round pick and a young rotational piece. Maybe a second-rounder and some salary maneuvering. That's worth a conversation. But the Bengals have to come back down to earth first. Right now, they're acting like they hold all the cards, but the clock is ticking. We're getting closer and closer to the season opener, and teams know the Bengals either need to make a deal or commit to this situation fully. They can't stall forever. And that brings us back to Ryan Poles. He's been methodical since taking over as general manager. He hasn't panicked, hasn't overpaid, hasn't made desperate moves. He's trying to build this thing the right way. So unless Cincinnati drops their asking price significantly, I just don't see him pulling the trigger on Hendrickson. And honestly, that's the right call. There are other options out there. Let's not pretend like Hendrickson is the only edge rusher on the planet. Guys like Zadarius Smith and Jadeveon Clowney are still available. They may not be long-term pieces, but they can absolutely contribute in a rotational role. Smith, for instance, has been a consistently productive player, and even last season he showed he still has gas left in the tank. He knows how to win his matchups, and he brings that veteran presence this defense could use. Clowney, on the other hand, is a bit more complicated. He's had a solid career, no doubt. Never quite lived up to the number 1 overall hype, but he's been a force against the run and can still disrupt plays. The concern with Clowney has always been durability. His knee is a known issue, and he'd likely need to be on a pitch count. But again, in the right situation, say 25 to 30 snaps a game, he can still be effective. He won't be a sack machine, but he'll play his role and give you reliable production. These are the types of moves that make more sense for the Bears right now. They're low risk, potentially high reward. You don't have to give up premium draft capital. You don't have to hand out massive extensions. You sign them to a 1-year deal, see how they fit, and reassess after the season. That's how you build depth without mortgaging the future. Let's say you roll with Smith or Clowney as a stopgap. That buys time for guys like Austin Booker to develop. It gives Dominique Robinson a chance to prove himself without being thrust into a high-pressure role. And it gives this coaching staff flexibility when it comes to defensive packages and personnel groupings. You're not locked into one approach. You've got options. Now, if you get halfway through the season and you're a legitimate contender, then maybe you revisit something bigger. But in mid-August, before the final roster is even set, it's just not the time to go all in on a guy who's about to turn 31 and wants a fully guaranteed contract extension. Especially not when you've got holes in other areas like running back, something we're going to get into shortly. Let's walk through how this came about. Washington had a preseason game scheduled, and Robinson, by mutual agreement with the team, didn't play. That's always a red flag that something's up. If a guy is healthy, not suspended, and not sitting due to some small tweak, but he still doesn't play, that's not about rest. That's about preservation. When both sides agree that it's better he not be on the field, it usually means he's being protected for trade purposes. No one wants to tank a deal by having a guy get hurt in a meaningless exhibition game. So let's take that as the signal it is. Brian Robinson Jr. is available. And here's the thing. He might be exactly what the Bears need. Not a flashy name, not a superstar, but a tough, physical runner who could fit perfectly alongside DeAndre Swift in a balanced backfield. Robinson doesn't wow you with highlight reel plays, but he brings an edge, a grinded-out style that this team could use, especially when the temperature drops and the football starts to feel a little heavier. Let's talk about the player. Robinson was a third-round pick, entering the final year of his rookie deal. So there's no massive salary cap hit here. He's a power runner with underrated hands out of the backfield. Last year was arguably his most complete season. Over 4.3 yards per carry, 8 touchdowns, nearly 800 yards on under 200 attempts. And let's not overlook what he's done as a pass catcher. He's hauled in 65 receptions for almost 600 yards over his career. That's more than respectable for a guy who's not even really known as a receiving threat. And the dude is tough. Let's not forget, he was shot during his rookie year and missed the first 5 games. He came back from that and didn't just get on the field, he contributed. That's resilience. That's mental toughness. And that's the kind of player you want in your locker room. He's not going to shy away from contact. He's not going to dance around the line of scrimmage. He gets downhill. He finishes runs. He fights for extra yardage. That's what you want in short yardage situations, late game clock-killing drives, and 3rd and 3 scenarios. Now let's spin this forward to what the Bears have at running back right now, and why this could make sense beyond just a depth move. Roscoe Johnson is once again dealing with an injury. It's becoming a pattern. Every time it looks like he's about to grab a real role, something sidelines him. You can't rely on potential if it never sees the field. Kyle Monangai, the rookie from Rutgers, has shown some flashes, but again, he's not a guaranteed contributor. He's 5'8", more of a contact balance runner than a bruiser. He's solid, but you're probably not leaning on him in the red zone. Then there's Travis Homer, who is primarily a special teams guy. Valuable in that role, yes, but not someone you want as your second or third option if someone goes down. That leaves DeAndre Swift as your clear number one. But even with his explosive potential, you don't want to give him 25 carries a game. He's not built for that workload. What he needs is a partner, someone to grind down defenses while he handles the splash plays. That's Brian Robinson. That's his role. He's the thunder to Swift's lightning. He's the guy who'll make a 6-yard gain on third and 5 look boring, but essential. You need that. Every offense needs that. So how much would it cost? Here's where things get really interesting. Because the Commanders are clearly moving on, the price tag might not be that high. Reports suggest that it could be as low as a 6th-round pick, maybe even a conditional 7th. That's nothing in NFL trade terms. You're not mortgaging the future. You're not handing over a top 100 selection. You're trading a late-round pick for a proven NFL contributor at a position where you currently have more questions than answers. Let's say it does cost a 6th. That's a pick that might not even make the roster next year. Most 6th-rounders are fighting for special teams roles, and a lot of them don't even make the 53. So why not use that asset now to upgrade your current depth chart in a meaningful way? Brian Robinson is better today than anyone the Bears have behind Swift. He'd step into that number 2 spot and give the offense a more complete look. He's a fit, he's available, and he's affordable. There's another layer here, too. Robinson's playing style complements not just Swift, but the Bears' offensive line and general approach. They've been trying to get more physical up front. They want to impose their will on defenses. They want to set the tone early in games and wear people down late. That's not going to happen with finesse runners. You need someone who welcomes contact, someone who brings the attitude. Robinson is that guy. He's not going to hit an 80-yard touchdown run, but he's going to get you the 4 yards you need on 2nd and 3. He's going to keep the chains moving. And when it's cold and the wind is whipping through Soldier Field in November and December, that's what wins games. And let's not ignore what this would say to the locker room. A move like this shows the team you're serious. You're not standing pat. You're identifying areas that need reinforcement and taking action. That matters. Players notice when a front office is proactive. It builds trust. It builds belief. It sends a message that you're not just waiting for problems to fix themselves. There's also no long-term downside. If the trade doesn't work out, you let him walk at the end of the year. No big deal. But if he clicks, if he gives you steady production and makes the offense more balanced, you've got an inside track on bringing him back at a reasonable cost. It's a win-win scenario. Let's also think about what this means in the broader picture of offensive flexibility. With Robinson and Swift, you can now play to matchup strengths. You could go power against lighter boxes. You can use Swift in space and Robinson between the tackles. You can run 2-back sets. You can throw screens to either guy. You can protect leads with a more physical approach late in games. You're not just leaning on one style. You're giving your offensive coordinator more tools to play with. And remember, the Bears are in a window where they're not rebuilding anymore. They're trying to compete. That means you take advantage of every opportunity to upgrade. You don't wait for the perfect move. You make the right move. Brian Robinson Jr. is the right move. He's not a savior. He's not a superstar. But he fills a need. He brings a skill set you don't have enough of. And he's available at a price that makes all the sense in the world. There's no reason not to pursue this. Unless someone else swoops in with a better offer or Washington suddenly changes course, the Bears should absolutely be in the mix. And if Ryan Poles has shown us anything, it's that he's willing to make the smart, calculated additions that fit the bigger picture. This one checks every box. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Whispers have been spreading through the American football world, igniting an unprecedented flurry of speculation, debates, and sheer astonishment as the Chicago Bears have allegedly pulled off a move that nobody saw coming. In an astonishing turn of events, the organization reportedly announced the acquisition of Isaac Alarcón, a rising star from the San Francisco 49ers, who has already captured the imagination of fans with his impressive agility, strength, and tactical awareness. The buzz has reached fever pitch on social media, where fans, analysts, and even casual observers are dissecting every possible angle of this purported transfer. The murmurs suggest that the Bears, historically known for their defensive tenacity and strategic gamble in recruitment, may have aimed to inject fresh dynamism and international flair into a squad that has been criticized for inconsistency over recent seasons. According to insiders whose credibility ranges from cautious optimism to outright alarm, Alarcon's potential signing is not just a mere acquisition, but a bold statement from Chicago, signaling a willingness to invest in untapped global talent. Enthusiasts of the sport are questioning what this move might mean for the 49ers' strategy, as Alarcon's absence could create a void in their lineup, altering the balance of power within the league. Rumors are also swirling around potential compensation or trade details, though nothing has been definitively confirmed, leaving fans in a state of anxious anticipation. The excitement surrounding Alarcon's rumored transition is not confined to hardcore fans. Mainstream media outlets have begun exploring the implications with a mixture of incredulity and fascination. Analysts argue that if the Bears succeed in securing Alarcon, it would be one of the most unexpected yet strategically audacious moves in recent NFL history. Discussions revolve around how his playing style, characterized by a blend of technical precision and raw physicality, could complement the Bears' existing roster. Speculative commentary is rife with comparisons to legendary transfers that reshaped team dynamics, fueling a narrative that this acquisition could herald a new era of competitiveness for Chicago. Conversations in sports bars, online forums, and even locker rooms reportedly echo with conjecture about how coaches might restructure offensive and defensive plays to maximize Alarcon's strengths. Meanwhile, fans of the 49ers are reportedly divided, torn between excitement for Alarcon's professional growth and anxiety about the potential disruption to their team's cohesion. Amid this maelstrom, Alarcon himself remains a figure shrouded in mystique, with no official statements made, further intensifying the rumor mill and allowing imagination to dominate the discourse. Every tweet, post, and broadcast contributes to a sense of anticipation that could redefine fan engagement across the league. Strategists and insiders continue to speculate on the implications of this rumored move for the Bears' broader ambitions, highlighting the intricate chess game of NFL team management. The potential signing of Alarcon is viewed as a statement not only about immediate competitiveness, but also about long-term vision, signaling a willingness to invest in younger, international talent capable of reshaping traditional team hierarchies. Conversations in professional circles suggest that this acquisition, if confirmed, might influence scouting priorities, prompting other teams to expand their horizons beyond conventional recruitment pipelines and explore untapped markets. Industry insiders emphasize that Alarcon's skills, his agility, versatility, and defensive awareness could create unprecedented strategic advantages in matchups, allowing Chicago to experiment with formations and playbooks previously deemed too risky. Fan speculation goes beyond tactical impact, imagining marketing synergies, cultural resonance, and even merchandise potential tied to introducing a high-profile Mexican athlete into the Bears brand. The very notion has sparked debates in podcasts, televised sports discussions, and social media threads, with pundits drawing parallels to historical moments when singular player acquisitions reshaped franchises. Amid all this chatter, uncertainty prevails. The lack of official confirmation fuels a vibrant atmosphere where imagination dominates over facts, reinforcing the sense that the NFL landscape could soon experience a dramatic transformation if Alarcon officially joins the Bears. The social media sphere has become a veritable storm of conjecture, with hashtags trending and fans dissecting every nuance of this developing story about Alarcon's potential move from the 49ers to the Bears. Speculation ranges from tactical analysis of how the player's strengths might mesh with existing formations to fan theories about locker room dynamics, team morale, and the psychological impact on both franchises. Commentary is vibrant, colorful, and often contradictory, reflecting the excitement and uncertainty surrounding the rumored signing. Enthusiasts delve into historical precedents, drawing parallels to other high-profile transfers that sent shockwaves through the league, highlighting the combination of surprise, strategy, and potential long-term payoff. Even casual viewers are reportedly captivated, as the narrative surrounding Alarcón blends elements of national pride, professional ambition, and the intrigue of an underdog story gaining momentum. Analysts are questioning whether the Bears are positioning themselves for an aggressive rebuild or aiming to disrupt conventional power structures, with Alarcón as the centerpiece. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.